Hi, Alan Cox here. Hey, have you ever been asked to find everything someone sent, said, or shared and find it fast? Worried about legal holds or defensibility or just getting it right? Today I'm going to start a video series about breaking down eDiscovery in Microsoft Purview. Step by step, real world, when we might use content search, when we might use eDiscovery Premium, when to use cases, exporting, all of that, we're going to get into it. So today I'm going to start with something relatively basic and where it all kind of begins with eDiscovery, and that is content search. So that's going to be our focus today. Let's get started. All right, let's take a look at doing a content search inside of eDiscovery. And really, that is where it all begins. Whether you're going to build a case, whether you're going to put something on hold, whether you're going to export the data, analyze the data, redact the data, whatever it is, starts with content search. And so that's what we're going to start with right now. We're going to do something relatively simple, and I don't think it'll take long, but I think it'll give you an idea of what you can do here. And so we're going to go into solutions here. In Microsoft Purview, we're going to go down to eDiscovery. But before we do, it's important to understand that there are roles that need to be assigned to those that are going to be managing eDiscovery searches and cases inside of eDiscovery. And so we're going to go first, we're going to go to Explore All here, and then we're going to go to Settings. And from Settings, we're going to go to Role Groups. And when we're in Role Groups, we're going to sort this out here. And then we're going to see eDiscovery Manager. Now, eDiscovery Manager is a role, but inside of this, there's actually two roles, eDiscovery Manager and eDiscovery Administrator. So an eDiscovery Manager can create and manage cases that they have permission to, that they have assigned, maybe that they have created, so they can create cases. So an eDiscovery Manager can only view and edit cases to which he or she has access to, okay? And so if that's only the requirement we need, we can add somebody to that role within the eDiscovery Manager and give them eDiscovery Manager roles. Then there is the next one is the eDiscovery Administrator. And this administrator can view and edit all cases regardless of permissions. So if somebody truly is over all of eDiscovery, then that is what we would then that is what we would maybe likely assign them to. Now I want to look at something here. Not there. I want to look at something here because I'm going to set something up here. When we do, we're gonna look for some emails from for Liam within a period of time. But I wanna double check something on Liam's account just real quick, and it's basically who Liam. There's no manager provided here, but I am going to add me as Liam's manager because I'm going to try something a little bit different here. So something I normally don't do when I do this particular demo, but now we have the permissions of role group set. We're going to go to solutions. We go down here to eDiscovery. And again, we can create cases. We can look at the overview and say create a case, search for content, create a hold, and view statistics. We can look at different dashboards. But it all really starts with content search, and we'll get into the rest of that with cases and holds and all of that in just a little bit in other videos. But this one's going to be relatively simple. We're going to start with content search here. Incidentally, if you want to change that, you can. But I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. We're going to create a search here, and we're going to create one that says Liam email from manager, and say less than 90 days. Okay, so that's it. So we're going to look for email from to Liam from his manager in a 90-day window. Okay, so that's our search name. Now it's going to ask us to create these statistics or these queries that we're going to actually pull from, and we're going to start with we're not going to use that, so we're going to go add a source. What are we looking for? People only, and we're looking for Liam's mailbox, so we're going to search for Liam. There it is, an only mailbox, right? And people only, not groups, not 365, not 365 teams or groups or SharePoint sites or any of that, just that. And so we're going to save and close that. Okay, and so then we're going to see. We're going to look at so here's where we can add, like, explore and add from the manager. So there's Liam, this person's manager. Okay, mailbox only. So this is where you can search for, not only you can find that person's manager and search their mailbox too. Maybe there's something going on, they're a whatever, there's some concerns between these two here, so that's one thing you can do there. You can also do that person's direct reports if they have direct reports, or the and so you can always add those without having to go and look for that person's manager. I did because I didn't know, and then I wanted to add it just to show you this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to add the manager right now, because what we're going to do, I'm going to remove that mailbox, because now I'm going to add the conditions. So one of the conditions we're going to do is, what are we looking for? So we're looking for email. So I'm searching for email, and I'm searching for a date after, we'll say April 1, 2, 3. I don't know. We'll say January 1 is fine. So we'll say January 1. And I want it to be from the author of me. MS 365. Okay. Equals any, equals any. I don't know why that's, that's technically the same account, and I know I changed the domain on this, so it's not good. Now I could have done or, okay, for any of these. So there's our query. So I'm going to say run query. Now I'm going to run query, and now I can do statistics. I can include categories, I can include partially indexed items, or I can run samples. And if I run a sample, it's basically going to give me, by default, 10 samples of items from 1,000 different locations, but it really doesn't matter. That's fine. I don't have that many locations. So, and then now I'm ready to run. I can run this query now. And so this can take a few minutes. So I am going to give it, I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and we will catch on the other side. I will say that anything that is running in the background here, anything that's running, so it's going to start loading those samples up. You can go, of course, you can delete the search. You can also go and look at the process manager and see this is kind of what's happening in the background. And of course, we can group these by process types if you have a lot going on. But anyway, it is still assessing the request and calculating the time. Once it does that, my expectation is we'll have some samples here, and we can take a look at our search results. So I'll pause now, and we'll catch you in just a few minutes when this completes. Okay, it took just a few minutes, but here we are with our samples. We don't have a lot here because it's a demo environment, and I've not emailed Liam a ton, but we can see it definitely brought to surface the results that we would be looking for, which is emails from me to Leon, and within the last 90 days, or we zeroed in from January 1st of this year. And so here we are, just a couple emails, and of course this is me adding him to a team, but the email would come from me, as well as sharing a document with Liam would come from me as well. And so that is just a simple search. There's several things we can do with that. We can download the report. We can download the message itself. We can do this download. We can see this is a message file here that we can look at, and so of course we can delete the search, and of course we can export. We'll get into exporting a little bit more later on, but we can certainly do that. But that's just the basic search. But again, based on our query, we can go in. Let's look at different things we can do here real quick. I'll just show you. We won't rerun this query, but I'll just give you an example here. If we add a condition here, we have all these conditions that we can use. So we have 28. That's pretty much all conditions. Most common ones we can look are like keywords and date and sender, author, size, subject, retention label, identifier, content kind, so like emails, documents, teams, messages, etc. If we're looking for Exchange Online mailbox, we've got just these specific items here: to, from, senders, recipients, etc. And of course, SharePoint and OneDrive sites, we've got these. But if we just click all here, and we can look, and of course we can do message kind. And if we look at message kind, or we look at we look at content kind, teams, messages. So if we content kind, let's apply, and we can drop here, and so now we can see meetings, documents, folder, message, IPM note, etc. So lots of things we can do and we can build here in our query. And then finally, when we're done with this search, if we need to move it on, we can of course create holds and all that, and we'll take a look at all of that in other videos. But if I'm pretty much done with this one for now, we can go on and we can just delete this search. So that's it. Yeah, so that is content search inside eDiscovery. And so I hope this has been helpful for you, and thanks for watching.